What's up, guys? How do you like that? Little new intro for the Always Race Day podcast. I'm Connor Ferguson here with Caleb Sloha and Noah Nelson. I could bring you guys in now. Bang. There we go. Real quick before we get started, I was going to do the ad, but it was like you guys were just staring at me, so I felt awkward. Real quick before we go, thanks to the Karl Auto Group for being the presenting sponsor here. Appreciate them for allowing us to do what we do year round, and excited for new things to come this year. And one of those new things kicked off today with Chris and Gio's show. Selzy Says, Gio Selzy, World of Outlaws, sprint car driver. Obviously, the show is going to be talking about the Daytona Duels, but go give it a listen. Each of those guys are fantastic, fantastic on the mic, fantastic to listen to, and a lot of cool information coming out in that show. A little bit about World of Outlaws and High Limit this year too. I know that's been kind of the attention-grabbing story of the off-season for dirt track fans. So if you like dirt, go listen to that. If you don't, I still encourage you to. Again, I know I promised a funny Karl Auto Group ad. It's not the same without Damon here. Damon plays the character of the other side of the dorky ad really well.
I will say, if it tells you anything, just between us in the past week, there's been 2 Karl Auto spottings.
We'll tell this story. Was it Noah? Was it Noah or
Josh?
So Caleb, Josh, and Noah came in and wanted to help us out and help us do what we do. They don't get paid. They're awesome people. Seriously, I can't figure out this reverse camera with my hats. I cannot. But anyway, no, the trio of them have been friends. They were friends. They all came together. They were a package deal. Caleb would not work for me unless I hired the other 2. And we don't pay them, so I was like, okay, whatever. But no, they're all rock stars, and I love them. Noah lives in Tulsa. Josh has lived in
Tulsa, but
you live in Oklahoma
City.
Yeah,
Oklahoma City.
Yeah, there you go. No, so I would figure that Noah would be, being from Oklahoma, would be the guy that hadn't seen a Karl Auto Group car or a Karl Chevrolet. And Josh puts in the group chat, shocked as hell that he saw one on the street.
To be fair, he lives, God, what would it be? Like 3.5 hours away. So the likelihood is a lot less, but it was still kind of funny. And then I was actually at a client over kind of in that area and saw one, so I had to give Josh some crap.
Yeah, well, we
need to see more of them.
I guess he hadn't seen one before, and I'm just shocked because you see him everywhere. Me and Caleb were like, "What's he talking about? Is this what I think I'm reading?" And no, it was great. Anyways, Daytona Duels, man. I know I hate to see wrecks like we saw. We're going to talk about that. We're going to digest both duels. I can't remember, especially in this era with the charter system where 40 cars make the race, maybe 2 go home, maybe 3. I think the most I've seen is 3 in kind of this era, I guess. But talk about 2 of the best, like down to the wire finishes between the open cars. That was absolutely insane. I was pleasantly surprised with how well those races panned out.
Yeah, for me, that's the story of the night, is just the underdogs, Yaley in Duel 1, McLeod in Duel 2, duking it out against teams that they're punching far above their weight class, with Yaley going up against 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson, and McLeod in a completely unsponsored Chevrolet with no manufacturer backing at all. Like he's got 9 full-time employees between his Cup and Xfinity program, and he just about beat the team that's starting on the front row of the Daytona 500, and he ran in the top 5 for a while. So that's the story of the night for me. I love it as well. I think that we need more of that in the duels, because I mean, I'm a traditionalist. I miss speed weeks. I think that stories like what we had tonight help build the hype of the event, and they add to the mystique of the event and the prestige of even making it into the event. And so I love seeing everybody compete and have a chance right down to the very end.
Can we talk about how the no practice thing is like the only thing wrong with speed weeks?
No practice is stupid. No practice is very stupid.
It's insane. It's insane to me. This is your biggest race of the IndyCar practices for a fucking month for the Indy 500. And I mean, that's kind of been trimmed down to 2 weeks or so. But every rookie comes in, they do extra stuff. Like, they practice the hell out of those cars. I used to sit in class that whole week and watch every Indy 500 practice. Like, how in the world for the Daytona 500 do you not have practice? Trimming costs, fine. That's cool. It's a crown jewel. Treat it like one. Treat the Coke 16 like that.
You have to prop
your race. I'm sorry. I'll stop talking over you.
No, I'm sorry. You have to prop the important events up on a pedestal if you want them to feel important. And NASCAR, for some reason, just doesn't really enjoy doing that to some degree.
With the trimming of the practice, you get NASCAR guys going to run dirt, going to run other series, other forms of racing. It helps those series and also looks really good on those drivers, because you're going to go try some stuff out. And who doesn't love someone that loves to drive race cars, drive different? That's why Kyle Larson's fan base is so large, right? I love that aspect of it. We can handle a little bit of practice, like 5 races of the year, guys. Come on. I mean, like, we have cars qualifying that haven't been shook down. Connor Daly was going 180 miles per hour in a car that was bouncing like an El Camino in the streets of, I don't know, city in California where that happens. What am I trying to talk about?
How we need to treat the crown jewel event.
Like, no. Like Ramon from Cars.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know.
Rings?
No. I don't know the type of car that bounces with the suspension like that.
Oh, Jesus.
I have no clue what the manufacturer is. Then I was just going to say Compton, but then I'm like, I'm probably just thinking of that movie, and I'm probably like way off on my pop culture reference. So,
oh my God.
I
screwed to hit a home run.
I have no clue. I have no clue what it is, but you guys know who I'm talking about now. But yeah, that was what the car looked like when Connor Daly took the track last year for practice. So, or for qualifying. But what's it hurt to have a practice Wednesday afternoon?
Absolutely nothing.
Everyone's there already.
It keeps things like what happened to Gralla in his qualifying run from happening during qualifying. Because if Gralla had gotten out there and run 2 laps in practice for his qualifying run and then broke, he could have qualified with a car that was, mechanically sound.
Yeah,
and
you're
that's
absolutely
not the first time that something like that has happened, where there's been no practice, and then immediately the second a car hits the track, it ends up, in some sort of a disaster. I mean, McDowell had an issue at Talladega last year, and so that's why I'm a proponent for practice everywhere for more reasons than just that, but that's a big one. I also feel like your fans travel, they spend a lot of money. Let them see cars on track. Like, yeah, I know practice, big deal. Not everybody's going to watch.
I don't want practice everywhere for that. I don't want practice everywhere for that same reason that it prevented guys from going to race other places. You remember when Kyle Busch used to go and race like trucks? Like he'd go race a different track that Cup than that Cup was at.
Yeah,
and he'd fly from like Bristol to Pocono like back and forth 3 times through the weekend. We don't need guys doing that. There's no fucking reason for that.
Well,
no,
that feels like a completely separate thing to a certain extent too.
Yeah, it is, but the only reason he was at one place on Friday and not the other was because they had a practice session. And then even if you let them skip the practice session, then there's the favoritism accusations, or the fans are like, well, if my guy was practicing, man, I screwed that up. If my guy was practicing in the stock car and not racing a dirt car, then maybe he would have won the race. And it's like, no, that's not really how it works, but okay. I don't know. We don't need it for every single race, but definitely for the 500, like without question. You guys want to hop into
the 500 instead of being like speed 4.5 days? At least let it have something going on, man.
Dude, there's so much racing in Florida for speed weeks. It's just not at Daytona.
Yeah,
that's it. You're just not seeing the. I mean, it's been 4 weeks of just every series that runs races starts their year in Florida.
Why wouldn't they? I mean,
Florida. No, what I'm trying to say is Speed Weeks is alive and vibrant. People just want more NASCAR and they don't want to go actually watch. I'm not saying real racing. They don't want to actually go outside their boundaries and watch some other cars. That's it. And I still don't think we should take the Clash back. The fact that we had a wreck tonight that large surprised me.
Yeah, that was something.
We typically do see, though, like where one duel is pretty clean and one duel usually has quite a bit of attrition.
Well, you're the fucking. I've cussed too many times on the show already. You're the plate racing is too dangerous and too damaging to the car. I'm not trying to say it's not dangerous. Racing is dangerous. But yeah, like I remember more boring duels than great ones. The best aspect, what with it, God, I'm stuttering like a motherfucker tonight. My bad, guys. I apologize. I will reset. All right. The only positive redeeming quality I remember of the duels that didn't have to do with like the finishes and like the pageantry of the race and stuff is getting out of school to watch them. Like my dad would pick me up at noon. Now we don't have that because they're at night, but they were great races tonight. 2023 NASCAR champion Ryan Blaney gets involved in a wreck. I think I thought that was just unlucky.
Kyle was the definition of unlucky.
Yeah, Keselowski didn't realize that Byron was going over there, and so he was on Busch's bumper. I don't think he even saw him really. And Blaney was more pissed than the other guys. Busch took not credit, responsibility for it, which like mature Kyle Busch is great to listen to.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how much he's changed. And that's Brad even said on the radio that he just didn't know that the 24 had come up there. And that's the problem is you cannot see when there's a car in front of you. And that's part of, this racing is they're always doing that, but you can't really see. So in Blaney's defense, I don't think he's necessarily mad at a specific person. It's hard to tell, but when you take a hit like that and you take multiple hits like that over your career, you just kind of get tired of it. Like you just kind of get tired of like taking those hits. So I think it was more just, like, man, I'm really tired of, and he even said, I'm really tired of being right reared, and
it happened to him in the summer race last year in the cutoff race in the middle of the corner. And it was a worse wreck than the one he had tonight, which is saying a lot because this wreck tonight
did you see his in-car camera?
Yeah, his head was bouncing around.
That was nuts. Absolutely crazy.
It's hard to watch stuff like that, but that's as like some of those drivers, if they're not, the biggest fan of super speedway racing and you continue to take, hits like that, you will just kind of get fed up of it. And that's like, we say a lot about Danica Patrick, but she took a couple whopping hits,
a lot of gnarly hits,
speedways. And I mean, at some point you just kind of get over it, like you're just kind of tired of doing that.
I mean, I heard a quote from Kevin Harvick. It was actually on his documentary that played right after the duels, and I thought it was really interesting. He said that getting to walk out of the car, healthy on your own terms was what you dream of. So I, just keep that in the back of my mind. Talking about this, like. These guys go through some stuff. Like Mike Joy even talked about the shoulder injuries from the containment seats, and in the past with the old seats, like rib cage injuries. These guys, even if they keep racing, like a lot of them, they won't say anything. They'll just play hurt essentially.
Yeah, that
And
was
so,
what Carson Macedo did that last year in the sprint car.
And
Really, he didn't lose a championship there. It's tough to say that, but I mean, he powered through a lot. There was an interview I did where he was kind of like, I don't want to say struggling or put words in his mouth or anything, but I was like, you can sit down. Like, I'll go get you a chair, man. Like, we'll figure it out. We'll frame it different. It's fine. And he's like such a nice dude that he's like battling to sit against a tire, and he's like, I'm good. I'll get through it. And so it's, racers are cool people, and everyone battles through stuff like that. So
the thing that we have to remember too is like Ryan was uninjured in tonight's wreck, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't hurt. So like it wasn't anything serious.
That's what my football coach said in 7th grade, Caleb.
But I guarantee, like, he's gonna feel it tomorrow. Like, especially, right where the straps were, for his seatbelts and stuff like that. Especially like right around your lap, you will feel it tomorrow morning, just because of how hard your body.
did we lose Caleb? We either lost Caleb or we lost me.
I think we lost Caleb. I'm sorry.
Oh,
my
no.
laundry machine was about to go off. It made like the warning beep.
The warning beep was for Caleb, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Here. Yeah, get out of here, Caleb. Hell yeah. He'll get the hint. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Hopefully. One sec.
But
Elon's Twitter app. I can't go on Twitter anymore with my phone charging. Did I tell you about that? Yeah, I have no idea. Just it's been like that for like 3 months now. I thought my internet was down periodically, and I was like, oh,
that's
this
weird.
just happens when it's charging. So,
but yeah, to add on to what Caleb was saying though, before he went into the void, he's talking about just how much you feel it the next day after it being in an accident. And I have buddies that race locally, and they, he hit a concrete wall head on at Hawkeye Downs, and he come up to me 6 months later. He's like, man, my ass hurts still.
Dude,
it's hard.
I play, like, when we go out and play like real semi-pro roller hockey games in a league, like roller hockey, you're not really supposed to check, not really supposed to be that fast. It still gets really scrappy, but like, we'll play 8 games in a weekend. I can barely walk for 3 days. I can't imagine like how hard wrecking any form of motor vehicle would be in comparison. It's gonna lap the field with what my stuff is. I can't imagine stuff like that.
I ran an enduro race one time. I ran an enduro race, and the car died in the middle of a hairpin corner. Every time I went in that corner, I could get it refired, and then I'd make it back to the corner and it'd die. And one of those times when it died, I got clocked from behind and my head just went forward. And it rung my bell for a second. It was, that night, like I was just sitting there on the floor, like, oh my God, my head hurts. Like it's not fun. So I can't imagine being a concrete wall or a safer barrier to the 1 o'clock angle at Daytona going 200 miles an hour to it.
Yeah. What's crazy too is like I remember the first time. Sorry, I'm caught up at my cord. I remember the first time that I got like hit when I started racing, and it sounded like horrendous. It just sounded horrible, and I was like, God, the whole car is gonna be messed up, and like I was so angry because I was like, the whole side of my car's got to be just trash based on what I heard. I get out and it's just a little dent. Like it's always like so much worse than what it necessarily sounds like, but when you're in it too, like it just feels way worse than what you would think as well.
Sheet metal and race cars makes the worst. They all make the same sound when they wreck. Like it's like listening to a car accident. Like they all sound the same, and so it's just that distinctive, just tonk that you hear. And it's like I remember somebody hit me in the door one time. And I was like, oh God. And then I got out and it was nothing. And I was like, wow.
Yeah. And it's not fun too. I've had one bout where I was getting close to going head on into the concrete wall. And I luckily didn't, but I just remember like right before that thought thinking, this is not going to be good. Like
we're over here, God, talking like around the water cooler. Like, well, if my knee wouldn't have given out, I'd have gone pro.
Oh yeah, no, and I hope that didn't come off like anything like that because I'm not close enough. But did have a guy I play against win the AHL fastest skater competition last week. That was pretty cool. Congrats,
Nice.
Ethan. Good job, buddy. Who won the second duel? Caleb? Christopher Bell.
Yes.
He handed the checkered flag to a 40-year-old kid. That was pretty cool to see. Jamie Little just assumed he was pointing to a child, and Fox panned over to see who got the flag, and it was just a dad. It looked like Chris Williams. I'll have to post a side by side on Friday on Twitter if I can find a still picture of it. But
Christopher, if you see this and you want to give me a checkered flag, I live 45 minutes from Norman, just so we're all clear.
The guy was wearing a Bell shirt, so at least you got that going for you.
God, Noah, I need to get you in on the Cannon McIntosh Thomas Meserol rivalry. That's a dirt reference. If you get it, guys, if we could get Noah on Cannon McIntosh's side. He's from Oklahoma. Thomas Meserol is not. So bad guy for you. Oh man. I want nothing more than that. Nothing more.
Yeah. I remember 2 race car drivers from Oklahoma purely because of NASCAR, Christopher Bell and then Bixby's own Tanner Berryhill, which is the most me thing I can say right now.
Fantastic. His family is big into why the Chili Bowl is a thing and stuff like that.
He
did a fantastic piece on that. So he's a cool dude. He's a cool cat. Racers are racers, man. That's the best part of it. Like anyone can be someone was stat shaming JJ Yaley tonight. And people act like they just tweet stats out with no context. And I've done it before for sure. But I know the context of when I tweet it and why I'm doing that. And sometimes it's for fun. Sometimes it's to make people laugh. Sometimes it's to point out something. I tweeted out a poor Emily Ryan shot 1 for 14 last night. And I tweeted her whole stat line out. And she was like, money from the free throw line, had like 12 assists. It was crazy. But some people were like, why are you shitting on her? And I think you can spot the difference. But this dude, and I didn't want to beef tonight. I was very much over it. I'm excited NASCAR's back. But he's like, JJ Yaley has failed to qualify for the Daytona 500 in his last 3 attempts in a row. And it's like, this guy has won everything there is to win in USAC. He's a storied driver, tried to make it big his whole career, still doing that. And he drove for the
shafted.
He drove for the second most unprepared team I've ever seen in my life, behind Floyd Mayweather's squad.
He did say that car was Hendrick repaired, so
they showed up to the track 48 hours after everybody else. And yeah, what was the other thing? There was something else. God,
Yaley's a guy who never got a fair shake. He was in the Gibbs car that was completely underfunded compared to his teammates because of the budget from Interstate Batteries, and then got sent to the satellite team that was, in its 3rd year of existence and had not really seen above the top 25 in points. And then after that, it was just start and park and low to mid-tier Xfinity rides for the next, decade. And so JJ Yaley's a wheelman. He's given some of those teams some of their best runs ever.
He gave tonight. And I know we're a bit out of order. Someday we might try to do everything in order. I just like talking about stories. That makes more sense to me, especially if they come out naturally. But he tried his ass off to keep Jimmy Johnson out of that race in the most respectful way possible.
He tried to literally take Jimmy Johnson out of the race at some point.
What do you want him? I was arguing with my dad about this. I'm like, what do you want him to do?
I don't blame him.
And he didn't wreck him. He did everything but wreck him. That's
No, I
exactly
think
what I would ask.
I feel like the thought was going through his head at one point, and then he said,
don't
"Man,
think
probably better not."
Thoughts win.
He's got too much. I think he's got too much respect in him to
I would
wreck
agree.
Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
But yeah, like neither of them wrecked. It was a fucking epic finish. And God, if you hate cuss words, I'll get you next episode. Okay.
I'm gonna hate it if I have to make a clip out of this.
I'm gonna beat you with a Bible now, Connor.
Sounds par for the course for Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So that's a joke. Someone out there's really pissed off.
You get the Oklahoma pass. It's okay.
Yeah, right. Oh man. Caleb, first duel winner. Tyler Reddick, thank you. I'll get there sometime.
You're on it tonight, Caleb. Wow.
Yeah, dude, Caleb, really quick. And you cut it out of the podcast, so it looked like I just thought of it myself. That's nuts, man. Seamless transition. But no, Tyler Reddick ends up winning it. Hendrick had the spots up front. I think they got separated. I wanted to kind of talk about Fox's cameras tonight in their direction, and it's got to be a hard job. I'm not trying to say it's easy, but I don't know what they were thinking. The wreck in the first duel, they cut away from it to show cars pitting. Then when they show the replay, they have no footage of the cars actually almost wrecking. It kind of just went to the cutaway point where they cut away from it. After that, or I should say before that, this score graphic, I'm looking at it like the open cars just say first, second, and third with them. And there's nothing else. Just that's where they qualified in the order they qualified. And like absolutely no explanation from it, at least from when the race started. I got home pretty late to my parents to watch it, but I'm just like, can we educate the fans and like show all the action, not cut away from stuff?
They just
anytime they need the Daytona 500 qualifying format explained, I think that they should just call me and I will explain it. We were having this discussion, me and Caleb and Josh, during the broadcast.
I thought I was at my first Kings Royal again, trying to figure out why the car that qualifies 36th gets the most advantageous spot in heat racing.
We had a 10-minute conversation.
It should not be that hard. If you're in on time, your result in the duel shouldn't matter. It should be down to the other two. Whoever finishes first, flat out. That's it.
That's the way I think it should be. Every year I go through the same thing where it's like, okay, one guy gets in on time, and then you go into the duel, and if there's two people left, whoever finishes higher is in.
Split up the four cars that don't make it. They start in the back row. They start side by side in the back row of each duel.
But not even that. Like, I think you should start the duel theoretically
like row.
Fuck it. No.
Let's do inverts. Late model fans.
Gatorade duel inverts?
Get behind me. Late model
I will always call
I got your back.
Sorry.
But I think it's just silly that it's like, well, Connor, Noah, and Caleb all aren't locked into the race. If Connor beats Noah, then Connor's in. But if Noah beats Caleb and Connor, then Connor's out. Like it just is so convoluted.
If F1 fans can tweet at me about Max Verstappen's iRacing win, as if that's a series outside of Formula One that he went and raced, then my 3 World of Outlaws championships should count for something.
Oh, dear God.
Also,
how many World of Outlaws championships does Max Verstappen have on the PS5? Some people.
If I'm ever racing both of you to get into the Daytona 500, I love you both. I will send you into the pylon.
You catch up with me to do that. So.
Okay.
We'll have to have a couple more of those this year. I'll bring the PS5 out to anything we do camping parties at. We're gonna have a couple of them. I'm not sure how long we'll be able to for the Iowa Cup weekend, but IndyCar, Knoxville National, stuff like that. We'll have stuff like that. I've wanted to organize that things like along those lines for a while now, so we'll get it done this year. No, so we had Fox, we had Jimmy Johnson gets into the 500 over JJ Yaley, obviously. That's pretty damn big. I wanted to ask you guys, because I don't know for sure, and this is me being unorganized. Why did Toyota send their cars to qualifying in race trim?
Because they
Probably
Was it because there
Probably
wasn't
because
practice? Or
there wasn't
could they not
practice.
test it? Okay, they could
Because they
they
wanna
could
win
fix
the
the car.
race.
They could set the car up however they wanted today, right?
The cars are impounded after qualifying, and so putting them in
Oh.
race trim gives you the best chance to improve your starting position
I
in the
see.
duel. And they're impounded after the duels and everything, I'm pretty sure too, because of the lack of practice. I could be wrong. That could be misinformation. But
I
thought
don't think they are. There's
was-
people working in the garage tonight.
okay. But
There's a lot of
they
backup cars that need to get prepared. I was
Yeah,
shocked that
that's
only
true.
5 cars went out of that race during that wreck.
next gen car is rigid, man, for better or worse. But no, and as far as Fox goes, just I mean, this is what I've come to expect from them at this point, and so I'm not surprised. I'm at the point where there's just complete apathy about it, where I'm just like, well, this is just another day at the office. And to think that they want the IndyCar broadcast rights. I saw that article today from Marshall Pruitt.
Oh, we didn't have to bring that up.
Yeah, well, we're talking about Fox. We had to talk about
Look,
asphalt
I don't
racing.
like shitting on people. I don't. It's not fun to do. Someone out there's like, I work really fucking hard at my job. Why the hell are you yelling about me? It's not an easy job. I can assure you guys of that. I've met camera people before. Shout out to JT. It taught me about, what they do and what goes into it. Fox's inability, or the producer's inability, to direct cameras to the action is so unbelievably not even close to average. It's terrible. It's multiple times a race. I was accused of being fake news because Fox missed a car flipping.
I was about to bring that up. I'm so that was the first thing in my head.
It's gone on for too long. It doesn't get better. Why do we still miss stuff? Why?
Well,
In
so,
2024, we're still missing stuff.
My thing too is, on top of all of that, you have, and I get it, it's across all the sports, but we've used the same crappy cartoon graphics now for 4 years.
Get rid of the F of those. Whoever you paid to commission those, whatever contract he signed, I would like it null and void. Harrison Burton looks like E.T. Please stop it.
Oh my God.
I don't know, man. 2022, 2023, whichever one it was that Villeneuve made, call him Jack Villeneuve. They had him looking right. I want somebody to draw me like that.
But so the thing is too, I'm sure they'll do it this weekend yet too, before the Daytona 500, but they go through their silly season deal where they have the cork board and they draw the, red yarn and they go through and explain, where everybody went and blah, blah, blah. Cool. Except for that's the 3rd year in a row now that they've done that exact segment. Change it, make new content.
No, I don't care. No, that's fine. No one noticed. No, I guarantee no one remembered because I don't even know what you're talking about. That's fine. That's fine. Please just get the cameras on the.
So
cars
we're okay.
faster.
We're okay that just every year we just get the same segments with just different names.
Fix the content first, and we can talk about the production.
Oh, I'm the opposite. I want get replays, get cameras on everything, get better audio from your drivers. I know that one's probably really tough. That's a tough act. That's our number 3. Okay, if we're talking about our list,
I'm just saying from the top down, it just
if there's cars zigzagging, and 19 of them are going to the tri-oval, and 4 of them are coming to pit road, and 3 of them on the other side going to the tri-oval are loose. Why the fuck are we going to pit road? Doesn't make any sense. And then we don't have any other camera in the facility on the guys in the tri-oval. I'm just sitting there like, what in the world? What are we doing? Because I don't hate their segments. I don't hate their content. I'm a big grid walk guy. I think it's funny. I don't hate the stuff they do before and after the race. That Kevin Harvick show was cool. the NASCAR Race Hub is a beacon of success. It's fantastic. I know there's been moments they've had where just rough episodes, but aside from like 2 or 3 that I can remember, they've been like,
We have rough episodes. It happens.
oh, what are we on, 165? We have like 160 bad ones. But yeah, it's like, man, just please show the action. Get more cameras on the track. I don't know. Not even more. I don't want you to go out and buy more cameras. Just figure it out. That's all I want. Just please. I'm begging. Please. But
Amen.
Daytona preview.
I thought
I was
Noah
gonna say
no, you're good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the rest of the weekend. A lot of question marks. I'm pissed that Brett Moffitt is not racing. I'm pissed that Landon Castle isn't in a top Xfinity ride going for the championship again. Other than that, there's a lot of opportunity for people. I also think Marco Andretti might win the ARCA race.
Dude,
50 cars, man. It's gonna be fun.
Arca's so back.
Oh, I thought you said something else.
It'd be funny if I didn't hear Noah say that 4 other times today.
What, dude? They're so back. What else am I supposed to say that they're not? Because
I do wish, and this is a niche opinion. I don't know why I'm putting it out on the podcast. I probably shouldn't, but I wish they'd invest in ARCA more and the trucks and Xfinity than trying to start an electric series.
No, that's fair. Actually, you know what?
I've watched Formula E.
that.
There's nothing to it that is different than other asphalt open wheel racing. It kicks Formula One's ass. That's for damn sure. Even with the gimmicks it has, and I try not to use that word. That's a bad word.
We've done really good the last couple episodes of
me
like
not saying gimmicks or me not shitting on that
forward progression, and now like I type in the timestamp of like 36 minutes Daytona preview, and now we're talking about electric cars.
Yeah. Invest in ARCA. That's all I'm saying. Greg Van Alst lost money winning the ARCA Daytona race. How the hell does that happen? Come on. It's developmental
the
series
has been all messed up this episode.
It's a developmental series. I mean, we're everywhere. Yeah, I don't know how the hell you're going to title this, but go for it.
It's going to be, yeah. The last couple have been good, but this one is going to be hard.
Well, there's been less going on. Tonight was, I mean,
fine.
talk about delivering everywhere aside from the broadcast. God, that's ironic. The weather forecast for Sunday looks terrible, but
it sure does.
That was 2 of the more entertaining duels back to back in like NASCAR's back. This was great. Keep the clash outside of Daytona. We don't need it. I like the duels. I liked what they did tonight. Make sure you have the open cars racing against one another. Yeah, that's my takeaways, I think. The people that were trying to drop back in the field tonight were idiots.
One of them almost won the damn thing.
No, I mean, I'm just like, there's people that were like, oh, he doesn't want you to drop to the back of the field. And it's like, all you got to do is move to the outside line and take your foot off the gas. And then why are you driving within 10 seconds of the field if you're going to drop back anyway?
When McDowell was saying he wanted to drop out and they were like, yeah, Cindric said no. I was like, there's a whole outside lane. He just move the wheel a little bit and you're no longer there.
Austin Cindric is Michael McDowell's dad. He calls the shots.
Oh man. Yeah. So Daytona picks. Do we want to do all three? Do all 4 series?
You guys go for. Oh, we can do all 3, but you guys go first.
Well, I think what we should do is start doing like actually making picks in our group chat, and then we can post it to social media too. But
yeah, I like that. I mean, we could still do. Also, my picks aren't going to change. We can still do that. But let's do ARCA first. Caleb, you go first.
Oh man, dude, I haven't even looked at the list close enough. Like, I've glanced over it, so that's really hard. Who's in a good car?
Yeah, we've seen.
Can I pick Bobby Gerhart? Like, can I just go with Gerhart?
Where's Bobby Gerhart when you need him?
Where is Bobby?
I'll never forget that time that he qualified the 60 car or the 99 car at Pocono for Carl Edwards in 2005.
Okay, Rain Man. Who are you picking for ARCA then?
Oh God, you know what? I'm going to do
Time out. Okay, so we've talked about this. We can do a season-long picks competition, but we're going to think of a punishment, and we have to all pick every race.
Yeah.
So then we have to make sure that all the picks, there's half asphalt, half pavement, half dirt. And then we need to figure out who's doing the punishment and how we're going to do it, and then we'll figure out how to stream it. Also, big news. I think we'll be able to stream starting tomorrow.
Whoa.
Which is only a concern for me because Caleb has to bleep out half the shit I say.
Like that?
Yeah. Don't bleep that out. I always hate like the bleeps on podcasts. It's like it's louder than the actual like cuss word.
It's more offensive to my ears. Yeah.
Yeah. It absolutely is. My lighting hasn't changed at all, but the left side of my face is way wider than it was before, and I'm very worried.
Yeah, that happens.
All right, ARCA.
Well, SPF. Yeah, ARCA. I'm gonna do it. I think Marco Andretti's gonna shock some people.
Well, okay. Can we pick the same people?
See, I think if we're gonna do, I don't think this is gonna. ARCA can't be part of the competition, but yeah, I mean,
what the hell?
No.
You're just gonna disrespect ARCA like that, knowing what Charlie Karl has done for your bitch.
Oh my God. Answer the damn question. Just answer the fucking question.
Oh, that's a bleep for Caleb.
Like we're 42 minutes in. Answer the question.
Marco Andretti.
All right, that. Caleb.
Just dude, I listen to 4-hour podcasts like it's my job. It is. Now you guys know I'm screwed up in the head.
Had to ramp all that up just to be like, oh yeah, what that guy said.
No analysis. I just think he's got a fast car, and I think that he's an experienced race car driver, even if he doesn't have the quote unquote stock car experience.
He's driven IndyCar. He's driven SRX. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, he's a hell of a wheelman. I'd love to see it happen.
I can't wait.
I'm gonna go with Andre Perez.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were gonna do. That's what I figured you were gonna do.
Got a good feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. Vibe
Truck series. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm looking at practice speeds right now. All right. Oh, easy. Ty Dillon.
I'll take Lane Riggs.
We've had like 3 of these guys on our damn show, and I didn't pick any of them.
I gotta look at the.
I would like half credit for Stuart Friesen and Grant Enfinger.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's how this works.
It does now.
Who was up at the top of the practice charts?
Johnny Sauter was fastest, and it's Tanner Gray, Ty Dillon, Daniel Dye. My phone turned sideways on me. Christian Eckes, Matt Mills, Dean Thompson, Lawless Allen, Bailey Curry.
I could go with Eckes. I could see Eckes getting it done.
Yeah, I just think front row has been fast at Daytona. They bring good super speedway equipment. We all saw that with Moffitt, and they brought their auxiliary truck out and just won the race just because they can. And
yeah, Brett knows how to put the gas pedal.
Yeah,
Brett knows how to put the gas pedal to the floor.
I think Lane Riggs is a hell of a race car driver. I could see him getting it done.
Yeah.
So Xfinity now, and I already said if Natalie Decker wins the race on Saturday, I'll drink half a bottle of Rumpel on the pod. So. That's not my pick.
Don't say that again.
I have good feeling about a rookie in Xfinity getting it done at Daytona. And that's going to be Jesse Love.
Okay.
I like that pick. Pick. I don't know what to think of him on a super speedway. That's the one thing I would, but he's everywhere he's gone. He's won. That's how he got to where he is. That's how he got in the ride he's in. Yeah, I don't hate that pick at all.
I think AJ Allmendinger finally gets it done. I think he finally closes the deal on a Daytona win. He's been close. He's been fast at super speedways. He's a great super speedway racer. It'll be AJ Allmendinger or Austin Hill at the end of the race.
God, yeah. And I'm going to be the guy that doesn't pick Austin Hill.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like
He's-
I left that on the table for you. Also, Dark Horse Parker Kligerman.
That's what I mean. Like, and we'll breeze through Marco Andretti for this one. We'll both take him. We got to figure out in the future if we're gonna have the same picks or different.
I think we're allowed to have the same picks if we're gonna make it a competitive thing. I think we're allowed to have the same picks.
And I'm looking at this entry list, and BJ McLeod is screaming my name. I'll tell you that. Also, we should talk about that actually. Frankie Muniz is in the race.
Yes.
Well, he's got to qualify, I think, still, right?
Yeah. I think his owner points are not great.
Yeah,
But-
and this is a died down Xfinity field. Names are going to be made this year. That's my prediction. God, if Brett Moffitt was in this race, I'd be putting $100 in it. I don't see an elite plate racer.
Really?
I don't know what. What?
Really? You don't see an elite plate racer at all?
Call me on my shit, but aside from Austin Hill.
I was gonna say like Austin Hill's right
no,
there.
I wasn't trying to do that. We just talked about Austin Hill, so I figured that was a given. Outside of him, it's like Ryan Sieg might be the next best guy.
Allgaier's still there. Allgaier's a good plate racer.
Good, not elite.
Yes, at 73 years old, Allgaier is still in the Xfinity Series.
That's insulting to his wife, and I expect her to tweet about our podcast tomorrow.
I hope you get added, actually, Caleb. For the record,
can you clip this and tag his wife? Because I love her tweets. I would react the same exact way if my husband was getting dragged, like Justin Allgaier does unfairly half the time. She makes me laugh with just about 95% of them. There's like one where it's like bad. I have like 17 out of 20 that are just terrible tweets when I send them. So she's got me beat by a long shot. I will
the odds are
go
way better on that one.
right. I will go. I don't want to take the easy route. I'll take Sammy Smith since he's Iowa native.
Sammy Smith. All right.
You don't want to take the easy. You don't want to take the easy route. You're just going to take the biased route. I got you.
Let's go
Biased.
Pilot Flying J.
Yeah, we're a team Pilot Flying J racing organization over here.
They have beautiful race cars. Nearly every car they sponsor is gorgeous. I can get behind it.
Connor's truck pick is I wish Brett Moffitt. His ARCA pick or his Xfinity pick is I wish Brett Moffitt.
Brett Moffitt would win both these races if he was in them. Shoot me. Landon Castle would win both these races if he was in them.
All right, Cup pick.
Oh,
I could pick Stenhouse. I don't want to pick Blaney. He's in a backup car. My plate racing list hasn't changed, by the way. Like 2 or 3 years. I just haven't had. No one stuck out to me, and what you do in the duels doesn't really stick out to me either, because I think half the people are actually trying to stay out of trouble more so than anything. I think NASCAR tells them not to drop back by 60 seconds because that dilutes the product in our sport. That's a theory. That's a tinfoil hat thing. Don't take it seriously. I'd rather you guys go first so I can think about it a little more.
William Byron.
Byron. I'm pretty sure he's a backup car.
I think he's a backup car guy.
Okay.
What do you know about his backup car?
You're telling me that these teams don't roll out a second car at this point?
It's a little more difficult these days with the next gen and everything, I would say. I am going to pick Bubba Wallace.
I like that pick.
I like that
really
pick.
like
I
that
thought about it coming down to it in the last couple laps, and I don't know if Bubba is quite there.
He's almost done it twice. Third time's a charm.
Almost.
Yeah, he's no. He's been there as much as Ryan Blaney has, and I
he and Blaney
above him,
are two of the best restrictor plate racers.
They're both in my top 5. Easily.
I'm not saying that he's not a good one. I'm just saying when it comes.
No,
down
you said he couldn't come down to it in the clutch. At one of the races, it was going to start to rain soon. There's not a more clutch moment than like, hey, you could just have your car fall out from under you at any time, and you're going to hit the
car
water
could fly away like
you're
a
guaranteed to hit the water
wind.
first, right?
I'm saying that when it comes down to 2 to go, 1 to go, if he's in the catbird seat, the thought of a Daytona 500 win is going to get in his head, and he won't be able to perfect what he needs to pull off the win. Now, in a couple years' time, I would feel more confident about that. I think he's getting to that point.
Oh, fuck it. You convinced me. I'll take Bubba.
Okay.
Oh.
I've
I'll
thought
put some
about
extra
this.
money down on it.
I've thought about this because literally the first person, as I was looking at the list, the first person that came to my mind was Bubba Wallace. But I just feel that there's more likely to be a Denny, a Blaney,
I thought
somebody
about Denny.
behind him that is going to be able to outmaneuver him in this point of his career.
So this is what has screwed me on my Daytona picks. So for 3 or 4 years, it was before we were even doing the betting videos every race. And if you guys want those back, I did a betting preview before every NASCAR sanctioned event that was on all the big sports books. We'd probably do one through DRF because they're with Cyclone Fanatic or they're with Iowa Everywhere. I would bring them back if people wanted that. The pressure of like having good picks kind of sucks. I never guarantee that. I was pretty damn good one year and pretty shitty the last year we did it. But for 3 years, I would take 6 to 9 drivers for the 500. And the first year I didn't do it was last year. And it was the same 6 to 9 guys. Stenhouse was in it. I would have absolutely made my money back had I done it last year and kept the strategy going, and I just abandoned it. So, no, it's Blaney, it's Bubba, it's Stenhouse, it's Austin Dillon, it's Denny Hamlin.
One of these is not like the other.
To an extent.
I will say though, statistic I saw during the broadcast that surprised me a little bit in regard to Bubba. 29 super speedway starts, only 5 top 10s, because I feel like every plate race the last 5 or 6 years, he's been there at the end.
Yeah, you wreck and
yeah, like you wreck and whole field hits the flag stand or whatever you want to call it. But
it's like the people that call Michael McDowell a great road course racer. This was before he got his road course win, by the way. He had like 1 career top 5. And he was a great road course racer. I couldn't figure it out. It was after he won Daytona. It changes your career. It changes the trajectory of everything. So,
hey, Caleb, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, was it Caleb doing it?
No.
You have to explain to the people what they aren't getting because I'm not getting it either.
I'm in agreement, I should say. Right.
And I was not. And that's the way
you guys get in a fight about this?
We have had many a discussion about whether McDowell could be considered like a road course ringer over the years.
All right, you guys fight.
My goodness.
Dude literally has like experience with that.
You also have road course experience. Are you now
I'm a road course ringer now? Yeah, you're goddamn
okay.
right. You're goddamn right. I am.
No, just because you have experience doesn't mean
the hollowed
anything.
ground to the Hawkeye Downs Enduro road course. Yes, I am.
Just because you win one road course race and you have a couple top 10s doesn't mean you're a road course ringer. Doesn't mean that you're just some legend at it.
Yeah, I am actually. That Dodge Shadow, that was a legendary run. My Linsanity run for 3 laps was incredible.
What are you talking about now?
All right, it's time to go to bed.
That was good. No, actually, go in the comments on YouTube and let us know if you think Michael McDowell should be considered a road course ringer.
He is now. He won a fucking road course race.
Just because you win a road course race.
Yeah, he proved me right 6 years later. Thank you, Michael. Praise
I'm
Jesus.
not shitting. I don't want to shit on him. He's a good road course racer. He's not elite.
Like,
I never said he was
Overrated.
elite, but I said he was a good road course racer. He could get a good
Nobody's
result
out here. Nobody's out here fighting to the death over John King
He's-
being a super speedway legend. So like,
John, you put some respect on John King's name right now.
You guys missed, but we got to start recording our like pre-show talk because Caleb massively disrespected Gravedigger. I mean,
no,
I about kicked him off the show from the start. Like his internet went
I
out.
did not.
Thank God,
You
because we don't
just
have to hear any
didn't
more
understand
Gravedigger
what I was saying.
slander.
It was
Okay.
going to be the end of Caleb's unpaid internship.
All right, all
You
right.
should check out Karl Auto Group.
Do that,
Thank you-
please.
thank you
Thank
for
you for
your
following
support.
along. Appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.